low 50s on the final racing card in the month of November here at Aqueduct Racetrack. Working on the main, sort of like the Zambonis at the Garden. They were off by 12:20. We were back to that regular start time. We ran 9, and again, a nice day here as we finish off the month of November on Aqueduct Insider. Glad you've stopped by here on MSG Plus. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore, and what a way to end a great weekend of racing all over the country. But here at Aqueduct, I thought the Big A really put her foot forward.
It really did, and that excitement level carried over from Cigar Mile Day yesterday. The crowd was out, the weather was good, it was cool, but it was crisp, and typical Aqueduct fall weather, and a good day of racing.
And his body of work completed in New York anyway as a 4-year-old. Well, your Belmont Stakes, 2-time Gold Cup winner and recent Cigar Mile winner, Tonalist, is set for a van ride down to Payson Park, and he'll be turned out the next 30 days, and sounds like he's going to come back as a 5-year-old for Christophe Comont.
Well, it's just great news for us fans that we're going to get to see him as a 5-year-old, because as good as he was at 4, I think we're going to see the best of him at 5. Boy, yesterday, Jason, he backed up around the turn, didn't look like he was going to get anything. Johnny Velasquez with a never-say-die ride. Got into him left-handed, he got out in the clear, got the kickback out of his face, and this time, instead of being a grinder, he showed a true turn of foot.
Maybe a mile is his perfect distance, and he's just that good. He can beat you going 8, and he can beat you going 1.25 miles, and he can beat you when he was in that distance at 1.5 miles in the Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing to have. Stamina as well as the ability to get a mile. That should, basically point him out as a stallion, and you think about his pedigree. Tappet, now if Tappet becomes a sire of sires, pretty potent combination.
He's got the Pleasant Colony on the bottom half as well. Let's jump into Private Zone. Was happy to hear, according to Dave Gretting of the Racing Form, that Private Zone's new trainer, Brian Lynch, quote-unquote, said the horse was no worse for the wear after they scoped him. A number of veterinarians went over him. But here's the backstretch run, and clearly something amiss yesterday in the Cigar.
Well, I know a lot of people think he was getting out, and I think more that his rider, Martin Pedrosa, was trying to get him company. He was, I think, concerned with the fact that he propped in his workout, not once but twice when they tried to break him off at Palm Meadows. And I think this was a horse basically saying, hey guys, I've had enough this year, I'm tired. And there's no such thing as horse whisperers, there's horse listeners. Now, Brian Lynch, a terrific horseman, he doesn't really know the horse. He didn't have anything to really go on other than, having him a brief period of time. So he was in a no-win position. If he pulls the plug, they're going to question why he did that. But I think when a horse does something like that, they are telling everybody loud and clear, they've had enough for the moment.
And they've got the answer, because they are just going to back off and give him some downtime. We love those geldings, and they'll gear Private Zone up for a campaign in 2016. Now, a day before the Cigar Mile was run, Handicap Division was in action at Churchill Downs. Their closing week MIG of the fall meet, and the New York-bred FNX for Jimmy Jerkins. Jimmy doesn't like traveling too far from home, but it all worked out in that Grade 1.
They're much like his dad in that respect. They don't really like to ship around too much. They like to race at their home base, but Jimmy knew the horse came out of the race good, and he went back to Kentucky to get the money.
And this is home, and Jimmy was here today and caught up with the MIG.
Jimmy FNX showed that his Breeders' Cup runner-up finish was no fluke with a big win in the Clark yesterday. Had to be thrilled with that effort.
Yeah, and that was, like you said, it was just didn't want anybody to think it was fluky, and for him to come back and run like that, win in a Grade 1 and then, redeem, just running every bit as good as he did the time before that really was a big thrill.
You've had him for a little while now. What's the biggest difference you've seen in him since when you first got him?
Well, I don't know. He just developed the way you want a horse to develop. We trained him pretty hard, and he thrived on it, and he just got to be, he just got to be a better horse, like the quality ones do.
After this win, what do you think you do with him for the winter? Like, where would be his next start, or does he get a break now?
No, he's going to get a break. We just kind of not decided what we're going to do. Last year, we just kept him in my barn up here all winter, and he did fine. We just didn't do a whole lot with him till the weather broke a little bit, and he had a couple of good works and then ran super. So, but, we might take him to Florida, at least for a little while. We don't know yet.
Jimmy, in the Brooklyn, he uncharacteristically bolted. Is that something he ever showed a propensity to do in the morning or any other time?
He did in the morning. A couple of works, especially when I was working him 2 turns, by himself, he'd get out a little bit. But Mike said something interesting. He said, you know what he does, which he'll switch to his outside lead in the middle of the turn, which very few horses don't do, and he acts like he's a big, strong horse. He acts like he's gonna just take it to left field, and if you overreact, then he's worse. He said, when he did that with me around the first turn and at the Breeders' Cup, he said, I just matter of fact, I goosed him a little bit, just like neck reined him in, and then he was a dreamboat from there on. So he just doesn't want you getting into his mouth and bossing him around.
You're speaking of Mike Smith, who had so much success with your dad through the years. What is it like to have a guy like him of his stature? It must give you a lot of confidence.
Oh yeah, and I didn't know what commitments he had coming up. I didn't know what he had, and I was just so glad he made the trip. And like you said, Mike, he said, I'd do anything for the Jerkins family, so that meant a lot.
Well, the Jerkins family has meant a lot to everybody, particularly here in New York. Congratulations.
Thanks again.
One of the good guys, Mig, and I like the way you wrapped up the interview with Jimmy, and it's just really nice to see Jimmy with a year after winning the Travers, have a serious horse going forward in FNX.
Jimmy is a great horseman. He is, just cut from the same cloth as his father. They're all about the horses. Being a trainer isn't a job to them. It's a way of life, and they embrace it to the utmost.
And Jimmy was here at the Big A, well, trying to get the money in a race. Well, you rode the namesake, Thunder Rumble, back in the day for the late Richard O'Connell. Let's see what shook out with the State Breds' 9th running of the Thunder Rumble. Featured 8th race on the fast main track as we send it up to track announcer John Abrial.
Gomez goes for the lead. Loki's Vengeance and Read the Byline. Read the Byline now moving up to challenge for the front. And Read the Byline has taken over the lead from Gomez. That is Loki's Vengeance running in 3rd. Commandante is next in 4th. Empire Dreams is 5th, 4 lengths off the lead. At the back are John's Island and West Hills Giant. They race up the backstretch after a quarter in 23-1. Read the Byline down on the inside in front here by a length over Gomez. Loki's Vengeance and Commandante, those two are right together, 3rd and 4th. And the favorite, Empire Dreams, in 5th. Followed by West Hills Giant and John's Island as they race midway on the turn. It's Read the Byline, Gomez in between horses, and Loki's Vengeance on the outside. The three of them are right together, and Commandante is just in behind in 4th. Empire Dreams is down towards the rail, 5th. Then West Hills Giant and John's Island, the half and 46 and 3, and the field is in the stretch. And here's Loki's Vengeance now to take over the lead. Gomez battles on in 2nd. Read the Byline is back in 3rd. Then Commandante and Empire Dreams. It's a 16th to the wire. Loki's Vengeance, a tough customer in Gomez. Empire Dreams, one last try as they come for the finish. Loki's Vengeance won it. Loki's Vengeance by a head. Close for 2nd between.
7/8 proved no problem for Loki's Vengeance, who dug down deep, was very valiant in the victory over Gomez.
And he worked out the kind of trip that he wants. Loki's Vengeance so much better when he's in the clear, stalking, not under the gun with outside pressure. He got very comfortable, very game run by Gomez. And the 8-horse, Empire Dreams, cutting back in distance. Took him a little while to get on track, but he was moving best of all.
Yeah, fired sort of like Tonalist did in the Cigar Mile, just didn't pick off the top two, who were both gritty and determined down to the wire. Much to the, I guess, the happiness and relief to trainer Mike Hushin, who, of course, sent out Loki's Vengeance.
Mike, you've had Loki's Vengeance for most of his career, and he's so consistent. What does he show you in the morning that lets you know he's going to run his A race?
Well, he's consistent in the morning also. He keeps himself looking like $1 million. Everybody always says, boy, you got him looking good today. He always looks good, but a lot of good horses stay like that, tough horses.
And he kind of worked out the trip that you were hoping for today?
Yeah, Jose rode him just right. He didn't have to take too much hold of him and didn't have to move too early on him, so it worked out well to get that 7/8.
It seems like we have a lot of talented young riders, but it seems like you forged a good relationship with Jose. How is it for a trainer? Is it give you a lot of confidence when you have a relationship with a young rider like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was glad Jose could ride him today, and we have a lot of good young riders around here, and it's really a pleasure.
Yesterday, Jimmy Jerkins won with FNX in Kentucky. Today, you win here with Loki's Vengeance. It's kind of a tribute to Alan Jerkins, isn't it?
Well, every day on the racetrack's a tribute to him.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
Always good catching up with Mike Hushin, as fine a horseman as you'll ever find, in fact, a guy you've had a long friendship and even professional relationship with. And not to sound hokey, but talking to Jimmy and then catching up with Mike after the stakes win, you're dealing with two pillars of the training community here in the Big Apple.
Absolutely, and two horsemen that I have the utmost respect for, guys that not only because I rode for them, just because you see how they are with their horses day in, day out. And I do think that's a living tribute to the great Alan Jerkins. Obviously Jimmy being his son, Mike working there for a number of years. Alan has had a profound impact on the game in New York, and I think no finer example than those two gentlemen.
And that will continue on generation after generation as we head deep into this Sunday card at the Big A. Plenty of turf, some big fields on the grass, and we will talk and break it down on the other side of this quick timeout here on Aqueduct Insider.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the second floor at Aqueduct.
Watch, wager, and win. Only jockeys get closer to the action. We're finishing off the last few cards on the main track. Of course, Mother Nature permitted. And, of course, you can watch all the action on your NYRA.com wagering platform. Check out the HD NYRA app, available in both the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's Jason, it's the MIG, and that was an action-packed first segment. We have got a lot of racing to get to from the starting gate, so let's get you back to race number 3 on this Sunday afternoon. We've got some New York breds throwing it down in a good group. Short field, but high on quality. And here's Johnny I.
And they're off. Testosterone and One-Sided go out for the early lead as they race up the chute. On the inside, Testosterone, and on the outside is One-Sided. Then Tug of War in between horses with Drama King on the outside and Beyond Empire down at the rail. Read the Prospectus trails the field in 6th, and now they're on the backstretch, and Testosterone takes the lead. Testosterone, the long shot, in front here by 3/4 of a length over One-Sided, and the quarter win in 24 and 3/5 seconds. Then it's a length. Drama King up on the outside and into 3rd. Tug of War runs in 4th, Beyond Empire at the rail, and Read the Prospectus. One-Sided and Testosterone, and now they are heads apart for the lead as they approach the half-mile pole. Beyond Empire just in behind at the rail, and Drama King's on the outside with Tug of War in between those two. Read the Prospectus remains at the back. The half was run in 48 and 4/5 seconds. Midway around the far turn, Testosterone at the rail, One-Sided alongside, and Drama King is 3 wide. Now Read the Prospectus begins to pick it up on the far outside, just in behind Tug of War and Beyond Empire, and the field is at the top of the stretch. Testosterone, One-Sided, Drama King, and on the outside, it's Read the Prospectus. 4 of them across the track as they move down for the 8th pole. Here's Read the Prospectus and Drama King, and now those two are right together. Testosterone back in 3rd, and One-Sided. They race for the finish. Drama King on the inside wins it by a neck. Read the Prospectus was 2nd. 4 lengths.
High percentage Rudy Rodriguez. When he gets hot, especially at Aqueduct, he is tough to beat. He nearly upset the field in the Thunder Rumble with Go Mets. And he has got a good one here. Maybe a little inconsistent at times, but when Drama King shows up, he's capable of efforts like this.
Yeah, and he showed up in a big way and got a perfect trip under Javier Castellano. Not a lot of pace on in this race. I was a little bit surprised to see Testosterone on the lead, but Drama King was a little bit closer. Read the Prospectus took a big run at him, and I thought it was interesting. Read the Prospectus, 3 for 3 over the course coming into the race. Drama King 1 for 1 over the course. I put a lot of credence in that at Aqueduct, and now, of course, Drama King 2 for 2. Read the Prospectus, 3 out of 4.
And I'm sure between Rudy and Jacobson, they'll be squaring off again as the winter meet begins to unfold. But let's move on to race number 7. As I was saying before the break, we still have turf. It's been a fairly warm autumn so far, Mig, here at the Big A. And let's see, Johnny I had his hands full. A big field as they cross the wire for the first time.
Moves up along with a Foxhole Drive, and from the extreme outside, it comes the Dream. No texting and Foxhall Drive, and they're going at it as they go into the clubhouse turn. No texting now in front over Foxhall Drive. Prophet's Cat down on the inside in third, with America's Guest racing in fourth. Then it comes the Dream in fifth, followed by Andalusite at the rail in sixth. Steadying there was Sun Worshipper. On the outside is Chunnel, and Successful Brothers trails the field in ninth. The opening quarter went in 23 and 4/5 seconds. No texting is the leader here by a half length. Pressed along by Foxhall Drive in second. Prophet's Cat on the inside runs in third. Far outside, it's Chunnel with Comes the Dream in between horses. Then America's Guest, who's racing in sixth, followed by Andalusite, Sun Worshipper, and Successful Brothers. 23 and 4 for the quarter, 48 and 4 for the half. They race midway on the turn. It's no texting on top here. No texting now by a length and a half over Foxhall Drive as they head for home. It's no texting in front. Foxhall Drive runs in second. On the outside is Chunnel. Then it comes the Dream. Prophet's Cat down at the rail and Successful Brothers. No texting by 3. Foxhall Drive on the outside comes the Dream with Successful Brothers. They are not going to catch. No texting. A front-running winner. And it was close for second between Comes the Dream and Successful Brothers.
Powerhouse effort, Mig. This horse is going good now for Bruce Brown and had no problem with the at times quirky Aqueduct turf course late in the season.
Yeah, he seems like he's made for this course. He's got speed, but he's not rank. He gets forward position. I think the turn back to the mile, just even though it was a 16th mile, it's made a big difference with him. And once a horse gets comfortable on the lead like that, if they've got any quality at all, they're going to be tough to run down.
Marched right on beneath Jose Ortiz. Looks good in the green silks with the red cap. Bruce Brown did lose this horse via the claim box today. No texting, though, winning a couple races off the claim for Bruce. Good work with that one. Let's move on to everything else that happened on this final card in the month of November as it's gotten dark outside. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9 as we may have a potential carryover brewing into Wednesday.
Promise and Hope up to challenge Jazz Player for the lead. And the two of them are right together as they pass the 8th pole. On the outside, Promise and Hope now takes the lead from Jazz Player. Then Chief Assignment and Wild Prado. They come down for the finish, and it's going to be Promise and Hope. The winner by a half length. Jazz Player finished second. Then Chief Assignment and Wild Prado. You pass the dice by 3. Unstoppable You is all out in second. Then it's Mac Miller, Private Tail down at the rail, and 49 Watts. Pass the dice with the lead as he passes the 16th pole. Pass the dice by 4, and he's on to victory here under Cornelio Velasquez. Unstoppable You held on for second over Mac Miller. Then it was Private Tail and 49 Watts. Being pulled up at the back is the favorite Mind Magic. In the stretch with Dream Breaker looking to pull off a huge upset here. Dream Breaker's in front, then Brutacult and Risky Sour, and Holy Week making a late run on the outside. Dream Breaker in front, Holy Week giving chase. Dream Breaker is 54 to 1. Kitty Ride in front by 3. Done Listening getting closer now in second. Kitty Ride is the leader. Done Listening driving on the outside. Enduring Touch is third. It's still Kitty Ride. Here's Done Listening on the outside. Kitty Ride and Done Listening. And Done Listening is gonna do it. Done Listening wearing down Kitty Ride to get the win. Done Listening, Kitty Ride, Enduring Touch was third. 3.5 lengths. One Sharp Cat could not keep up with Absolutely. On the outside, Riot Worthy is now moving up. Absolutely has the lead with a 16th out. Riot Worthy in second. Times Squared now into third. Absolutely by 3. And Absolutely. It's Absolutely. Riot Worthy was second. Times Squared finished third, and BB was fourth. Outside of Potentially, Yummy Bear, Potentially, EJ's Legacy, and there goes Ben on the outside. It's Yummy Bear, Potentially, EJ's Legacy down at the rail. There goes Ben on the far outside. EJ's Legacy comes away with a narrow lead. Yummy Bear is right there, and at the rail it's Rangers coming. EJ's Legacy won it. EJ's Legacy over Yummy Bear.
Jose Ortiz came so close to sweeping the late pick 4. Yummy Bear, I mean, this far off his uncoupled stablemate in the last, who also went out for Linda Rice.
Yeah, and it looked like for a second he was going to even get him after the other horse got through along the inside, but at least it stayed in the family in a way. Both horses trained by Linda Rice.
Yeah, they had inside posts over this turf course and a whole bunch of 5s and 4s in the pick 6 will pays. That's right, $35,000. The carryover into Wednesday here at Aqueduct. Cappy, let's do it. Binocs out, race number 6 over the main track. We learned last winter, throw out Charlton Baker trained horses at your own risk. And here's an exacta sweep for Charlie in race 6.
Well, he does a terrific job. And here's another New York bred by Mineshaft, FNX by Mineshaft. Absolutely. Well, I like the call from John Imbrial. He said, absolutely. It's all absolutely. And how about Charlton Baker running 1-2 here? We saw that a couple times today, right? Linda Rice in the last. Charlton Baker here, Riot Worthy rounding out the exacta and actually making a nice little score for somebody.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's move on to the claims here, Mig, with another Sunday down. Day number 21 already of the fall meet. Doesn't seem that long ago. We were packing up over at beautiful Belmont Park, and essentially a two-for Sunday here at the Big A's. We had a couple claims out of race 2, out of race 5, and out of race 7. And there you go, no texting. In fact, a two-way shake. Bruce Brown did a nice job off the lengthy layoff with that horse. Rudy Rodriguez will send him next time out. And Gaston Grant, plowing back some of that fall highway money, he jumped in and took Enduring Touch.
Well, maybe he's starting to buy some broodmares to support Green Grotto when he starts his second career someday.
I tell you, they stand him as a stallion. I'm in. I'm breeding to Green Grotto. You won't find a tougher horse around. And in fact, he's coming up as one of the week's top performers on the other side of this final break. Single carryover in a Wednesday of $35,000. Study up, past performances are out, and we can't forget every Saturday here at the Big A with 200,000 reasons plus to play that late pick 4. Top performers, well, Tonal has played part in a big late pick 4 pool here on Cigar Mile Day. Here he comes, despite the fact it looked like he'd get nothing on the far turn. Watch this rally from the 3/16 pole home.
Yeah, he was going in the wrong direction at the 3/8 pole, but once Johnny Velasquez was able to ease him out into the clear inside the 8th pole, he really leveled off and ran down a very game uncoupled stablemate in Red Vine. And how about Matru? Another big effort there. Just a real good horse race, but Tonalist, much the best.
First ever Belmont winner to take the Cigar Mile as Mo Heyman finished off a very promising and successful 2-year-old season, a perfect 3 for 3.
You got to like what Mo Heyman's been able to do in 3 starts. He won on the lead. He won making a long, sustained run. He won this time in behind horses, having to split horses. He's seen a lot of situations in 3 races, and it's going to bode well for the seasoning he's going to need going to the Triple Crown Trail.
You ready for our favorite J-Bred? Here he is, a heart as big as the Big A. Green Grotto with the aggressive ride here Thanksgiving Day at 50-50 beneath Kendrick Carmouche.
You know, I know I'm not supposed to take sides. I'm not supposed to root, but I was actually rooting for Green Grotto here, a horse that really deserved a big win. He's been close in some of these, second in the Carter. Well, he got it, and he worked for it and worked out the right trip under a really heady ride by Kendrick.
How about the brothers pairing up 92 buyers this week in separate wins? Up first, Towering Moon for Rudy.
Do you think one of them gave Mom a call and said, hey, you know, we're doing pretty good in the Big Apple here?
I hope so.
You got to love it. And actually, you kind of gave out Escape to the Moon after Towering Moon won. You're just cluing everybody in that, hey, the brothers in tomorrow. Maybe this is a harbinger of things to come.
10-1 for Bruce Brown and Alfred Jr., in fact, the owner and breeder. Well, the breeder of both horses. He's the current owner of Escape to the Moon. Rudy Rodriguez and Michael Dubb claimed Towering Moon off Alfred. I'm assuming he still has the mare, and he has got one solid operation, good bloodlines, and the proof is in the efforts we're seeing out on the racetrack, right?
Yeah, they do a really good job. I go right by the farm all the time, Buttonwood Farm in Rhinebeck, a really pretty, well-run farm.
And Erod Ortiz Jr. finishing up 2015 as a young rider to watch, just 23 years old. Look at this list of top mounts over the span of 1 week.
It's good to be Irad Ortiz, and it's good to have Steve Rushin as your agent, but Irad's been making all the right moves all year. A young guy that has a lot of good in front of him as well.
$22.3 million in the bank for 2015. His younger brother, Jose Ortiz, is not far behind him and came a neck shy of sweeping the late pick 4 today. A hat trick, in fact, for Jose Ortiz. Javier Castellano walked away with a couple of victories. Jackie Davis, $111 wiring the field in race number 5 on the Big A turf. Chad Brown, in the meantime, 195 wins on the year. He's just under $20 million in purse money won, 32 graded stakes and counting. And look at this list we have over the last week.
Well, a lot of the same names you saw for Irad Ortiz as well, because they have become a formidable combination. And Chad Brown, from what I understand, had 17 graded stakes wins last year, 32 so far this year, almost doubling last year's total. Pretty remarkable how quickly he's risen to the top of his profession.
And that list was just on Saturday. I talked about the week. He had a few other winners during the week, but that was just one Saturday, Cigar Mile Day. Your stars come out, and Chad certainly gets it done. In fact, he's tied for leading trainer with Rudy Rodriguez. We had 9 different trainers win races today, and Michael Dubb with a commanding 6-win lead over Mike Rapoli and David Jacobson as they sit tied for second with 5. $35,000 the carryover into Wednesday. It's never too early to start studying. Take the form out, the pen. Here's Andy and Maggie with who to look for.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, for those of you that aren't broke from playing my losers, I'll give you a horse on Wednesday, and maybe we'll break the bad run we've been on. In the 6th race, it is not an easy race for sure. The 8 Broadway Bay is dropping in for a tag in a claiming race for the first time. Bruce Brown has terrific numbers going in for a tag first time in the dirt, and Broadway Bay just needs some class relief. And, you know, this is a horse that he comes from way back, but there are times when he's shown a little more speed. They can find a way to get him at least a little more forwardly placed, and he gets a little help up front. Broadway Bay is going to come rolling by in the stretch. First time for a tag for me. The 6th race on Wednesday, the 8, Broadway Bay.
With some rain forecasted for the middle of the week, let's stay away from turf race. I know there are going to be few left here at the Aqueduct, at the Big A, I should say. But going to stick around and wait it out till Wednesday's last race. It is a maiden claiming 40 for the 2-year-old New York bred fillies. And with a race that nobody really stands out, I'm going to take a second-time starter from the Charlie Baker barn, and that is number 3, Marakovitz. She did get away a bit slowly in that kind of wet track race. And she not necessarily rushed up, but found herself kind of making her way really, really wide into a pace that never fell apart. So I want to give her another shot. She stayed on pretty well to end up 4th in here. I think that she's a filly that should have a bit more speed or leave the gate a bit quicker in her second start. And she obviously also looked like one that might need one. So looking for an improved Marakovitz in the paddock on Wednesday. She's your insider play for tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Andy and Maggie. $35,000 in that Pick 6 carryover. National Racing Report for Cigar Mile recap, 10:30 p.m. on Monday, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, right here on MSG Plus. For the Big and myself, we'll see you this coming Wednesday. Thanks for watching.